welcome! I am the Overlord and this is Cracker Pack, a show where I open Magic the Gathering booster packs, and today we have some Aether Revolt pre-release prizes. What's up? Second place with a nice black-white artifact synergy. Have some white for removal. Lots of great stuff in black. Gonti, Lord of Luxury. Yahini's Expertise. It was just good stuff all around. I won second place. Got myself enough prize packs to do a show for you today. So, part 3 of our Crack-A-Pack Kaladesh Bundle Extravaganza is going to be delayed for a few weeks, but that's alright. Let's open up some new shiny cards. We're starting off here with the Untethered Express, also known as Dino Train, because it looks like a dinosaur. Ah! It's a 4/4/4 with crew 1. It has trample, and whenever it attacks you, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Once you stop the Dino Train, there isn't any stopping it. It's just going to go over and over until your face gets crushed. I had a lot of success with this card in my pre-release. Highly recommend it. Take a ride on the Dino Train when you get a chance. Foundry Hornet. For 3 and a black, it is a flying insect, a 2/3. When it enters the battlefield, if you control a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it, creatures your opponents control get -1/-1 till end of turn. I haven't played with this, but I would assume it'd be pretty great, especially as like secret anti-servo tech. Get rid of those 1/1 little servos or the 1/1 Thropters flying around, and you have something in the air for your trouble as well, as long as you have a creature with a +1/+1 counter on it. Pretty saucy. Tezzeret's Touch. Always happy to have this because it's an enchant artifact. And enchanted artifact is a creature with base power and toughness of 5/5 in addition to its other types. When the enchanted artifact is put into a graveyard, return that card to its owner's hand. Hello, turn 3 5/5 flying Ornithopter. Not as great as the M15 turn 2 Ornithopter Dream that I had a lot of fun playing, but still a solid try, and you get it back. So that is a lot of fun. What is prize 1 going to be? Let's find out. Bam! Haha, we have the Hope of Girapur. For 1 mana, it is a 1/1 Thropter. It has flying, and you can sacrifice it until your next turn. Target player who was dealt combat damage by Hope of Girapur this turn can't cast non-creature spells. Can restrict them only to creatures. That's pretty good. I like this effect a lot. A 1/1 for 1. It's a legendary artifact creature, so you can use it as a commander. That's good stuff. Happy to see it. I love when new sets come out. I love new cards. This is great. Let's keep things going. We have the Savage Scuttler. For 5 mana, it's a 4/4, and when it attacks, return an artifact you control to its owner's hand. A little overcosted for the body. I like the effect a little bit. If it was a you may return, then it'd be pretty bonkers, but the fact that you have to return an artifact means that you might be in a situation where you don't want to return the artifacts you have on the battlefield, but you want to swing with a 4/4. So take it for what that's worth. Pacification Array. For 1 mana, you throw it down, and for 2, you tap it, and you can tap target artifact or creature. It's like a super weak version of Icy Manipulator. That was good, but you can tap down creatures and threats on your opponent's upkeep to keep them out of the picture, or you can tap down one of their blockers. I'm sure there are some uses for this, but it's alright. The Sly Requisitioner. For 2/2, it is a 5-cost, but it has Improvise. And whenever a non-token artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 servo. So if you can get her down on maybe turn 3 with some Improvise, and then you can activate the implementation cycle. I forget what they're called. They're the one where it usually costs like 1 mana to put down, and when they're put into the graveyard, you draw a card, and then each color has its own version of that effect. You could get some good servos out of it, so not too shabby on that front either. It really depends on how strong this improvised mechanic ends up being. So we have a foil. We're gonna go ahead and put that right there for now. Check out the next rare or mythic. Hopefully a mythic. Let's go ahead and see it. Bam! We have Borrow's Expertise. This can be quite the beast. For 5 mana, is a sorcery. Return up to 3 target artifacts and or creatures to their owner's hands. Then you may cast a card with converted mana cost 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana costs. So if you think about it, if you have a spell that you want to play for just 1 mana more, instead of paying the 4 mana for that spell, you pay the 5 mana for Borrow's Expertise, bounce a bunch of your opponent's creatures, opens you up for a sweet attack, or gets their threats off the board, especially if they're building up counters. And I've seen some creatures get pretty buff with +1/+1 counters in the pre-release. Like, totally messes up that strategy, and you get to cast something big. This is good stuff. And this foil needs no introduction. It is a foil Consulate Crackdown. Alright, I like myself a foil rare. It's a story time card. When it enters the battlefield, exile all artifacts your opponents control until Consulate Crackdown leaves the battlefield. This can hose commander decks like crazy, and it allows you to keep all of your mana rocks and other fun artifacts. Ooh, this is spicy. If you throw this down with, like, what was it called? The Mycosynth Lattice? The thing that makes everything an artifact? Oh, that's just disrespectful at that point. You're gonna wipe people out. Check it. Final pack. Give it a crack. The Deadeye Harpooner. It has Revolt. When it enters the battlefield, if a permanent you control left the battlefield, destroy target tapped creature an opponent controls. It is a 2/2 for 3. Great value if you can get that Revolt trigger. Not so great otherwise. Happy to see that Harpoonists are starting to get some representation in Magic the Gathering. Aerial Modifications. This is an enchantment for 5 enchant creature or vehicle. As long as the enchanted permanent is a vehicle, it's a creature in addition to its other types. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying. It's really expensive for an effect like this. I definitely look forward to opening the red version of this a lot more. But you can slap this on, say, that 1-drop Crew 6 vehicle, and now you're suddenly swinging with a 9/13 flying machine. You can have a lot of fun with effects like this. I'm so glad they're taking a chance and experimenting with that. Oh, speaking of, we have what I heard referred to as the Big Gulp, because for the low price of 1 mana, you have a vehicle that has 7/11 power to toughness. It has Crew 6, which makes it hard to crew with actual creatures, but you definitely want to build around with the Peace Walker Colossus and those enchantments like the one we just saw to really get the most out of things. I'm pretty happy with my prizes so far. Got a foil rare there, got some good stuff. Let's see, I haven't seen many mythics in the prize pack, so perhaps we have one right here. Whoop. We have the Aethertide Whale. This guy's alright. He's a flying whale, as all whales are. A 6 mana, 6/4. When it enters the battlefield, you get 6 energy, and you can pay 4 energy to return it to its owner's hand. Kind of reminds me of the Palinchron and those types of effects, like way back when in, what, Urza's Destiny? Whichever one has the little hammer symbol. So that's a neat card. Not super exciting, but I'm sure I'll be cracking plenty of these regardless. So there's a look at our MVPs for this crack-a-pack. We have our rares up there. We have a lot of good stuff. The Hope of Girapur, Borrow's Expertise, Foil Consulate Crackdown, more like Consulate Smackdown, am I right? We have the Consulate Dreadnought 7/11, also known as Big Gulp, Tezzeret's Touch to help empower things, and Untethered Express, pure untethered value, especially in limited. Oh, it's so good, so good, unstoppable. So if you've enjoyed this, feel free to share with your friends, like, subscribe if you haven't, so you can see more of these and listen to my wonderful voice. And stay tuned for next week when we do a little bit of dance. We wear a little bit of pants with our Dance or Pants Aether Revolt release weekend box opening. We're gonna crack some good stuff. I feel it. And that's about all I have for this episode, so go now, my minions! Be free!